it up for the man himself, Mr. Jassi Sidhu.
Alright, cut the cheesy music.
We were going to do it in style, I told you. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it 80s retro, Michael Aspel. The only thing missing is the red book. We're going to go, This Is Your Life.
Okay, sure.
Jassi, how are you feeling?
It's a bit surreal, honestly. It's all a bit weird. It's like watching my own wedding. Like, I'm watching like everybody talk about me. It's a bit strange. But actually, before I carry on, to everybody up there, how you doing? You okay? See, Anila and Ameet are not from Birmingham. These are the rich people from Birmingham. These are the people you want to hang out with. They're the ones with money.
All the freebie types.
Yeah.
So seriously, let's just dwell on very quickly how wonderful people who are here to celebrate you tonight.
I keep saying it's really surreal. I spend my life on the road. I travel, I tour. To come to my own hometown and this it's so cool. It's so cool, and then it reminds me of how 30 years have passed so quickly. And it's आजकल लोग अभी बयान ही you can't stay married for 30 years, so to do the same job for 30 years it's insane, man. I can't get married. And this, honestly, you've known me long enough, very rarely I've lost for words, but this is as close to lost for words as you're going to get.
You're normally the one entertaining everyone, but the spotlight is firmly on you tonight. And you talked about being in your hometown. This is where it all began. So we want to take you right back to the roots. I mean, how does it feel being here, knowing this is right where you started?
Look, when we had this idea, and we were going to do it in India, I was going to do it in Delhi and Toronto and Vancouver, and I said, look, man, if I'm going to do it, I'm doing it at home. I started here. The rest of the world borrowed me from Birmingham. I belong here, this is my home. So tonight, we're going to celebrate where I started. And you know, it's the city that gave me my break and took me out of Birmingham and sent me around the world.
Well, listen, we're going to start from scratch, so are you ready? Strap in, Mr. Sidhu, because before the music, before the chart success, and before coming one of the most recognisable voices in British popular music, there was, of course, a young boy who grew up in Handsworth, Birmingham.
That's alright, you know, I don't mind that. That's okay.
He's kind of cute.
You're okay with that.
It gets worse. Or does it get better? I don't know. Let's have another slide. That's where the entertainer was born.
Shakin' Stevens, I remember the actual thing.
Wow, amazing. And I think there's another one as well. Is it? There we go.
Alright, that ain't that bad. That's not bad. Okay, I can live with that.
Wicked.
So, born to Jassi and Kaur in December 1978, you were raised in a Sikh Punjabi family where the values of hard work, respect, community were at the heart of your everyday life. Those early foundations would help shape not only the artist you became, but the person you are today. And like many British Asian families of that generation, home was built around the family, culture and opportunity. Your parents worked hard to create a life for you and for the future of their children. And Birmingham was the backdrop to those early years.
And having a look at those pictures, I can already see the memories floating back, Jassi. So just looking back at those pictures now, tell us a little bit about your upbringing, your family, and what life was like growing up in Handsworth.
It was a typical Punjabi house. We weren't very well off, but we made ends. Me and Mum and Dad did the best they could with me. You know, I was the last son after 4 girls, and looking at these photos is a bit surreal. I haven't got many photos of my parents. And if anyone follows me on social media when I talk about my mum and dad, it's, I have a lot of regret about how it all kind of happened, but I hope I'm making them proud, man, if nothing else.
You have.
Just going slightly off script, because I've known you for a very long time now. Obviously, sadly, your parents passed away quite consecutively, one after the other. How do you think they would react to something like this happening now, you being celebrated like this?
Oh, they wouldn't have come. There's no chance. My parents had zero interest in my singing career. They just said, study, and that's it. After that, do what you want. up until Mum's passing, she used to always say to me, when are you going to get a real job? So, you know, they did it their way, and as I get older, I realise their way wasn't my way.
And you talked there about them really valuing education. That was a really important part of the journey. And music wasn't necessarily the path you were going to follow, was it? In fact, education took you down a very different route, leading you to study law at the University of Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton?
79 straight here, look at them. Straight on the tram.
Those are the freebies. So let's have a quick look at a picture of you at your graduation, because you did actually manage to complete it, but you had a really unique story of completing your...
That's not my graduation.
Is it not?
So, okay, I didn't think I was going to graduate, so you had to book it in advance. I didn't book it, so I picked it up and ended up at Wetherspoons, and then that's taken by the lads in the bar in the house. They found it and go, "You got a degree?" I was like, "Yeah." So that's taken a few months ago. I mean, well,
Jassi, at that point, when you look at that picture...
that was 2 months ago, anyway.
Okay, rewinding though to when you were studying, what did you think your future was going to look like at that point?
It was never going to be law. It was never ever going to be law. I was singing. That was all I was going to do. That was to stop my parents kicking me out of the house. That was it. It was either do it their way or don't sing. So I had to do both.
So we've got the cover of your first ever release, Public Demand, coming up in just a second. Because by the late 1990s, something extraordinary was happening. 3 young men that many of you will know as B21. Bali, Bhuta and Jassi came together with a fresh sound, a modern image and a determination to create something that reflected a new generation of British Asians. Show us that picture, take us back to B21 days please. There we go.
You could tell I had no idea what was coming. Look at the innocence.
B21, this whole era here was hugely influential for British Asian music, for British Bhangra history. At a time when British Asian music was finding its place in mainstream, B21 brought a confidence and identity that resonated with audiences everywhere. I mean, albums were flying off the shelves, it was, you know, global.
Albums, like you say, were flying off the shelves. You went across the world, UK, Europe, North America, you name it. That's a whole different story. And beyond, of course. For many young people growing up at that time, B21 wasn't just a band, it was a reflection of who we were as British Asians in this country. Take us back to that time of when B21 exploded.
I think that is the worst pixel ever. At least download a good photo.
That's movie box print, man.
Yeah, I think if you're alongside B21 and then bending like Beckham, that whole, those years and the essence of it, and everyone sitting up here was part of that. It was called, you know, English people had Britpop, we had Punjabi pop. We made it cool to be Punjabi. And it was just a surreal time for all of us. You were part of it, we were all part of it. So everybody sitting up there, you can remember when you were growing up how cool it was that period. And I think that magic there will never be captured again. Doesn't matter what we try, it was a one-off.
Who here has seen a movie, Bending Like Beckham? It's pretty much everyone. Obviously we've got Ameet here, who was in it. And we have a special guest tonight, don't we, Ameet?
We do. Ladies and gentlemen, that film is now 24 years old and actually was the beginning of our brother bromance. We knew each other before the film, but he would never talk to me. Bali and Bhuta were always the more friendly ones, believe it or not. And then we shot Bending Like Beckham, B21 came and did an amazing cameo in the film, and that is when our romance started. So we've been friends for like 25 years now. But I would like to call out someone who is the reason why we became friends, I guess.
The Punjabi.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chana.